Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you for a album review this time, and this is for finally the Tuesday album review you've been waiting for that I was teasing yesterday or last night, I meant to say. This is for My Chemical Romance's I Brought You Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love album review that I'm going to be reviewing for this Tuesday album review for season 4, episode 5. So I'm gonna discuss what I listened to for all 11 songs off this My Chemical Romance I Brought You Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love album and let you know my thoughts on it. So let's dive into this album review. Now, this album came out 20 years ago, so it's pretty old now. It's like 2 decades old, but still, what did I think of this album overall? I think this was a really good album for sure. Romance starts it off. It's an instrumental. Has this weird static noise at the beginning of it, along with the instruments, meaning the acoustic guitar and other things like that, and the melody. And it doesn't sound that bad. So I'll give this a 5 out of 5. I kind of enjoyed it, even though it was weird static noise at the beginning of it in the background, so it was a little hard for me to tell if I was going to give it a good rating or not. But the next song is Honey, This Mirror Isn't Big Enough for the Two of Us. Long title, but a really good song for sure. I really enjoyed this one. Gerard Wade sounds really good with his vocals, and the drums and guitar work sound really amazing in this song. So I highly recommend you check this song out for sure. I think this was one of the singles, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't know for sure, but yeah, it's still a pretty good song, so I'll give it a 5 out of 5. Vampires Will Never Hurt You is the third song on the album, and this was a pretty strong track for sure. It was long, it was like 5.5 minutes, so you're in for a lengthy song, but this is not the only song that's pretty long on this album. There's a few songs on this album that are pretty long, but I think three, if I remember correctly, that were over 4 minutes, and so like that, and maybe more than 4 minutes, but still. Um, Vampires Will Never Hurt You. Gerard Way sounds really good singing in this track, and just the execution of the song sounds really good. It's he sounds backgroundish with his vocals, like he's really putting a lot of effort into it, but it still executes very well. I don't know if I'm saying the right word for it, backgroundish or anything like that, but still, I enjoyed this track. 5 out of 5. Drowning Lessons was a pretty good song for sure. Definitely check this song out on the album. It's really enjoyable. It's 4 minutes and I think 25 seconds, if I remember correctly, but it still was a really good song, so 5 out of 5. Our Lady of Sorrows was one of the short songs on the album. It's like 2 minutes. I think the shortest was the instrumental track, but still. Um, yeah, the Our Ladies of Sorrow or Lady of Sorrow was a pretty strong track. Highly recommend you check this one out too. 5 out of 5 for this one. Head First for Halos has this more sorta upbeatish kind of vibe. It's not that much of an upbeat vibe, but it sounds pretty strong of a track. So the guitar work and the drum work and Gerard Wade singing in it sounds really good for sure. I really enjoyed this track, so 5 out of 5. Skylines and Turnstiles was a pretty strong track. Really enjoyed this one too. There's a lot of strong tracks on this album, just so you know. But it's a pretty strong one. So 5 out of 5 for this one. I like the drum work. I like Gerard Wade singing in it. Sounds really good. He has some pitches where he can hit the high notes, but it really executes very well. So 5 out of 5. Early Sunsets Over Monroeville was a solid song. There were some moments with the acoustic guitar I wasn't feeling for, but still, it just some of the production and the mixing was a little wonky, but it still didn't do bad with Gerard Way singing in it, but it didn't execute to the point where I loved the song, so I'll give it a 4.5 out of 5. This is the best day ever was another solid song. Not my favorite, but it's still a strong track, or kind of strong track for what it's going for. So 4.5 out of 5. I meant to say. Sorry if I said almost 5 out of 5. I did enjoy some moments with the screams in it. There are a lot of screaming moments with Gerard Way and the backing vocalist screaming in some moments of the track, but it doesn't do so bad. So yeah, Cubicles was another strong track. I really enjoyed this one, so 5 out of 5. And finally, Demolition Lovers to end the album. The closing track was pretty good. It was 6 minutes, but it was a really effective song with what it went for, so 5 out of 5. Overall, production, mixing, and execution, I think I Brought You Bullets, You Brought Me Love was a really good album. Highly recommend you check this album out. In my personal opinion, I really love this album. My Chemical Romance's first album was really good, for sure. And uh, I really enjoyed it for the runtime it was going for. It was like 41 minutes, but it was really enjoyable. So overall, I think I Brought You Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love album, the Tuesday album review I did for you guys for My Chemical Romance, was a really good album. Definitely check this album out if you haven't listened to it yet. Came out about 20 years ago, so you can find it on YouTube and all that. So first score for me, I'm giving My Chemical Romance's I Brought You Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love album a 9 out of 10. This was a really good album. It definitely rocks for sure. And I really love Gerard Way singing in most of this album and doing some screaming stuff too. Or it's probably the backing vocalist doing it too as well. So I'm not sure if Gerard Way's really doing the screams that much, but still, it was a really good album and I really enjoyed it. So 9 out of 10. Comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of this Tuesday album review I did for season 4, episode 5. For My Chemical Romance, I Brought You Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love album. If you listened to it already for the 41 minutes of this listen. And if you enjoyed this album review I made for you guys this afternoon, comment below and let me know your thoughts on it. Tap a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can to support the channel. I think the video is kind of lagging a bit on my end. But if it's not lagging on your end, I gotta make sure it's not because I'm gonna test it out and be sure that it's not. But still, I will be returning to you for another review. Strangers track review by Bring Me the Horizon might not be out till like sometime tonight or at least tomorrow sometime. Sorry, the video's really lagging. I do not know why it's doing that, but on my end it's lagging a lot. But yeah, let's hope I can finish up on this video. But yeah, and then I'll be doing Cold Rain's new album review. I'm gonna check that out and see what I think of it because I enjoyed what I listened to for one of their singles for that album called Cut Me. So I'm gonna check that out again and give the whole album a listen for non-negative, I think it's called. So until then, hope you enjoyed this album review for My Chemical Romance. I Brought You Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love album. I did the best I could to make it as good as possible for this Tuesday album review. Stay safe, guys. Take care. And as always, I'll see you in my next review.